Hello. My name is Darnell Nathaniel, and I am doing this video review of a smart vending machine that was sold to me through a company called Vendron or Silkron. I think they go by both names, and a gentleman by the name of JC Mendez in Puerto Rico. So I want to basically just break down my experience with buying the smart vending machine from Silkron Vendron JC Mendez, and just kind of warn you guys if you're interested in buying these machines and what you may face after you get it. All right. So and I sent and I'm going to look at my notes here I have beside me, and I sent Silkron a message about my machine. So today is January the 15th, 2023, and I sent this message to Silkron about 4 days ago. So that would have been January the 11th, 2023. And let me just read you what I wrote to Silkron, and that might just explain it, and I can just fill in the blanks. And I wrote, "Hello, I purchased a smart vending machine about a year ago from JC Mendez." And this is, you can find this on Facebook as well, and just type in the keyword Silkron, 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 and just look for my name, Darnell Nathaniel, and you'll see my review. All right, so hello, I purchased a smart vending machine about a year ago from JC Mendez, Silkron agent. The machine cost me $4,431. The machine has constantly been offline and non-functional. I currently have the machine located in a facility in Alexandria, Virginia. But again, the machine is offline and non-functional and is not making me any money. I would like to leave a review of the unsatisfactory service and support I received from JC Mendez and Silkron. When I asked JC about providing me with a partial refund for this non-functional machine, he sent me a message stating that I somehow damaged the machine and that I placed it in an inconvenient location. I am planning to leave a very detailed review of this experience on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Google so people will know about the poor quality of these machines. Below is the message that JC Mendez sent me this morning when I questioned him regarding the machine's poor performance. All right, so I'm not going to read what JC wrote. He basically told me, and JC again, he was the agent who sold me the machine. He is in Puerto Rico. He's not in the United States. So if you buy a machine from them, he's actually the engineer, and he'll ship it to you in the United States. That was my experience, right? So basically, what I received was, I received this machine. Now, this was going on about a year, okay? Because I'm not a person, I don't believe in getting something and just abandoning it, abandoning it. I believe in seeing things all the way through. So I bought the machine from Silkron. I was excited about it, but there were some red flags really from the beginning, right? One big red flag was they never really could talk directly to me. When I had reached out to them, Silkron. I reached out to them through Google and I found their company. And then what happened was, I think they were in China, right? And I think that's where they're based out of. So they didn't have any like local people or local companies here in the United States, right? I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, which is in the United States. So what happened was, I had sent them an email. This was about a year and a half ago. I sent Silkron an email asking about their machine. I liked the videos that I saw of the machine, but I wanted more information. So eventually, the gentleman JC Mendez reached out to me. Again, he's in Puerto Rico. And so he said, I will sell you the machine. I have the machine. I will support the machine for you, and so on. So he and I started to talk, and I got information from him, right? So ultimately, I bought the machine from him. I wired the money to him, and then he started the planning to send me the machine. He shipped the machine to me from Puerto Rico, excuse me, and I basically had to coordinate when the machine was dropped off and unpackaging the machine, which was not a big deal. That wasn't a problem. The problem came in when I did finally unpackage the machine. There were no instructions for the machine on assembly. There were no details about tools I needed or what I needed to do in order to put the machine together. So basically, I received this machine that had parts. Okay, it just had parts. That he had packaged. It had a monitor that had been packaged and put onto the side. It had some makeshift hooks that were in baggies and put on the side. There were uh, um, slots or what do you call it? The shelves that go into the machine. They were like on the side, and basically their solution to the installation was I had to FaceTime JC, right? Now I asked him when I first got the machine. So these are red flags, right? This is what I'm telling you guys. And this is why I'm saying I suggest that you not do business with these people. So so what happened was I asked him, I said, "Well, where are the instructions?" "Oh no, there are no instructions. I'll walk you through the process." Okay. So then I asked him, I said, "Well, how long will this take to set up?" Um, I'm not sure. Usually it can take a day, it can take a little bit longer. Now, I can tell you guys, I'm in IT. That's what I do for a living. So I'm very tech savvy. All right. So I mean, I manage sites. Okay. I manage sites. So putting things together is not an issue for me, but I could tell based on all the parts um, this would not be something a normal person, and when I say normal, I mean somebody that's not technically inclined. They would not feel comfortable with this process, right? And then when I was talking to him, so basically he and I we were FaceTiming. My phone died a few times. Um, you know, he was telling like little sly jokes as we were working through it, and I'm thinking to myself, what is this? Like, what have I gotten myself into? Because this does not feel legitimate, and it didn't. So, long story short, it took me about 3 days, right? It took me the entire weekend. So, let's say the machine arrived on a Thursday. So, it took me Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to put the pieces together on the machine, right? They did not come assembled. So, it took me about 3 days to do that with him on FaceTime with me. All right. Then there was a malfunction with the door. Now, the door would not close properly for whatever reason. Now, he's saying, JC Mendez was saying from the note I read to you that I damaged the door, right? Somehow damaged the door. So I'm like, okay. Now, he never said this a year before now, right? This is all new information. And I believe he's saying this now because I am coming forward saying that, hey, I don't believe in your product. I don't believe that you guys are legitimate. And I don't believe that you support your equipment the way that you should, right? Long story short, the lock mechanism on the door, right? The way the door is supposed to work is it closes, people swipe their credit card, they open it, they get their items out. This guy, JC Mendez, had to fly from Puerto Rico into it was on a Saturday, I remember. So it was like the week after. He flew into Maryland and he had to repair this machine, right? He had to repair it and he had to set up the credit card reader um, because these parts just simply weren't working. He kept telling me, you got to have the internet. Well, the facility has internet. So that wasn't an issue. He kept telling me that I wasn't doing something right, right? But again, there were no instructions. There was this makeshift uh, FaceTime that we were doing to try to figure it out and how to install it. Very unprofessional, very time consuming. Um, it wasn't a good it wasn't not a good experience at all. And this is the beginning. This is how the thing started, right? So long story short, as far as that goes, he got the machine up and running. The machine would go offline randomly. The machine would disconnect from the credit card reader randomly. And eventually I was told that I had to remove the machine from their facility. All right. So the agreement I had with the company that I was working with, they told me I had to move the machine. They got fed up with it, basically. So so I moved the machine from there to the current facility in Alexandria, Virginia, and it actually worked out well because this facility is they're open really to the public, right? So they don't ask for anything from the vendors to sell. So anything I sell there, I make it back as profit. The problem is like I just mentioned, the machine is always offline. It took me 3 weeks to get the machine back online because there was an issue between the credit card reader and the machine itself. Okay. Their solution, and when I say they, I'm talking about JC Mendez, I'm talking about Silkron. Their solution to solving these problems is to remote into the machine and then look around. Now, I've already mentioned that their company is in China. So I go to the facility early in the morning. It might be like 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then they want to remote into the machine to get it back online. There's usually no time frame as to how long it'll take. Um, what went wrong? Because I'll ask these questions, right? I'll ask like, well, why can't I just, for example, right? The last time, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and why I decided that I'm no longer doing business with these people. So the last thing that happened was I drove to Virginia from Maryland, which takes about an hour and a half for me. I drove down there with my items, right? My candies and my sodas and juices and different things that I was going to restock the machine with. And the machine would not allow me to add my items to it. It just wouldn't allow me to add the items to it. And when I asked JC, I said, "Hey, how can I reset the software so I can start adding my items?" He didn't know. He had no clue. His suggestion was, "I will have the guys remote into the computer." Now, when he sent out a message, and I have a screenshot of it, when he sent a message to the gentleman in China or the group of people in China, I don't even know if they're a real company or not. But when he sent the message to the people in China, um, they wanted to. His message to them was basically the machine is down again. Right now, these were his words, not mine. And the machine was indeed down again. The machine had been down for a couple of weeks prior to that. Now, my couple of my problems with this is one, it makes me look bad as the vendor selling my items in this facility. If the machine is always down, it's not living up to what it's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to generate business, but it's not, right? Not consistently. All right. So the machine was always down or down more than it was up. There was always an issue. Every time I would say, "Hey, well, what's going on with this? How can I reset it?" They never knew. It was always, "Well, let us factory reset the device again and then start from there." So these are not practical solutions to problems. I sent JC an email and a PayPal request asking for half of my money back. He has not responded to that at all. Basically, they have told me that I've had this machine for over a year and I broke the machine, right? So somehow now I broke the machine. So if you're considering getting a smart vending machine, do not, or a vending machine at all, do not shop from Silkron Vendron. I would highly suggest that you avoid those guys like the plague. Even the facilities director at my current location said to me, she said, "Is this a real company? Right? Are those guys a real company?" I really don't know if they are or not, right? I know they shipped me a machine. I know the machine is not functional. It's inoperable more than it's operating. And that money that I spent on this machine, I have not recovered that money. I can tell you that off the bat. The machine is down more than it's up. Okay. So if you're considering getting a smart vending machine or a vending machine in general, do not get it from Silkron Vendron. Do not do business with JC Mendez. If you do, it's just know that it's going to be your fault if things don't work. He's not going to stand behind it. And as soon, basically, once they get the money, that's their fulfillment of this process, and I'm not pleased with it. Um, I think that if a product is sold and it doesn't live up to its standard, or functionality, even if it's beyond 6 months. I mean, 6 months is not a long time when we're talking about like almost a $5,000 piece of equipment. Um, this is unacceptable, right? And it makes me look bad as a business person. So now I have to remove the machine out of that facility, and the director now has to find another vendor to go in there. So again, that's bad business to me. And I would just highly recommend that you not use these folks if you are choosing to go the smart vending route, right? So stay away from Silkron, stay away from Vendron, stay away from JC Mendez, because just know if you're in the United States, it's going to be a tedious process and they're not going to really offer you any support. All right. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a message and I will definitely respond to you. Thanks again and bye.